Yes, everybody. This is the Washington Wrestling Rankings podcast. He is Sam Ottow, and I am Matt Beck. And today we have on some of the wonderful ladies wrestlers here tonight. Sam, how was your 4th of July? Was it great? You had a big family outing, I think I saw there. So how'd your 4th go, brother?
Yeah. I will recommend as a father to, try and not have kids too close to fireworks, because we had some close calls out there and a lot of coaching about how to be safe with them and all of that. So it was a late night for me last night, but I'm glad to be settling down after the 4th and be doing the podcast with you guys. This is awesome. So how about you, brother?
What's going on, brother? EJ, hope you had a good 4th. Hope everybody had a good 4th. I had a great 4th. I always put together a little golfing thing for my company on the 4th of July morning, which is great. Allows everybody to get on to what they got going on. And it's a crazy holiday weekend this year. It seems like the roads were less traveled. Everybody must have gone away for the weekend on Wednesday, but not us. Okay, we're always working here, and these girls are too. So let's go ahead and bring them on here. So we have Isabella Phillips with us, Malia Ottow, and Adalyne. Is that right? Is it Adalyne?
Yes, it's Adalyne.
Adalyne Montiel joining us today. Welcome, ladies. How was everybody's 4th of July? I can see Malia and Adalyne are still partying together.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was fun.
Everybody's got their fingers, I'm assuming.
Yes, yeah.
All fingers in. All right, Sam, let's run down. Who do we have in front of us, Sam?
So we got Isabella Phillips with us. She's a recent graduate from Squalicum High School out of Bellingham, and wrestles out of Outlaw Wrestling Club up there in up north in Skagit County. She's number 5 in the nation right now, which is the highest ranked wrestler in our state nationally, which is really impressive, Isabella. So congrats. Oh, you didn't know that? Sweet. Breaking news. Yeah, you're number 5 in the nation now. Congrats. You jumped up quite a bit after winning the US Open. And then we got my niece, Malia Ottow, here as well. No nepotism, but we bring her on, and she's out of Snohomish High School, my alma mater, and recently just got 3rd in state as a freshman. And then Adalyne Montiel from Toppenish High School, who is a 2-time state champ out there in the Yakima Valley. So welcome,
Malia, I got a question first. Worst uncle of all time, or?
No, he's my favorite uncle, actually.
Wow. Favorite uncle. Okay, I just had to get that. I didn't know how many uncles you had. So if it's just Sam, then he's got to be your favorite. A few uncles. Well, he's your favorite. Not to mention the other uncles. We don't need to talk about those guys. But yeah. No. But Isabella, breaking news. We just broke it. You are now ranked top 5 nationally by Flow Wrestling at 190 pounds. So how is it crazy enough that we just broke that news to you? How did you not know that? Is there not a mail delivery system when that comes?
Well, I knew I was ranked 5th, but I didn't know I was the highest ranked Washington wrestler.
There you go.
Yeah, no, that's really awesome. And congrats to you, US Open champion, 6 at Fargo last year. I mean, what are we trying to do this year, Isabella?
We're trying to win it all. We're trying to do Fargo champ.
That's really cool. So you just graduated Squalicum High School, correct?
Yes.
And let's look back a little bit on your high school career here. What was it like winning state after coming up short, in your previous years? I mean, what was it like to finally get to the top of the mountain for you?
It was really great. It was my sophomore year I got 3rd, junior year I got 2nd. So it felt like the natural next step was to get 1st. So I'm glad I was able to do it.
And Sam, you can I'm trying to get the dirt. Isabella, are you going to wrestle in college somewhere? I mean, have you committed somewhere? Can we break that news here?
Yeah.
I mean, what? Go ahead, tell us.
I committed to Gannon University in Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's awesome. Good for you. Oh, Adalyne, you look surprised over there. Was that a little bit of surprise there? Or?
It's not surprising. That's so cool, though. I didn't know she was committing there. That's so good.
Yeah, I don't know if that was made public or not. Usually on our account, if we see somebody post a commitment, we'll repost it. I just didn't see anything with you. What made you choose Gannon?
Their academics are phenomenal, and there's like a little Bellingham on the other side of the country. So it's like the same population. It's right by a lake. So
that's awesome.
A lot of things just fun to place.
Yeah, and there's plenty of good wrestlers out there on the East Coast. We all know that, not just for the boys or the girls too. The Pennsylvania wrestlers out there are really gonna, bring a lot to the table. I'm sure the coaches are awesome out there as well too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then Adalyne, let's jump to you. I just got to ask you first. I know you're young. You're still, a sophomore going into your junior year. Are there colleges that you're looking at so far that you're interested in, or has any coaches talked to you, or what's that look like for you?
Not really a college so far. I guess I'm kind of keeping my options open because I am still young, and like with time, things can change. But I know Menlo, they've been sending me emails and they have my transcript and stuff because they're looking at me. Coach Tony is always telling me colleges are like talking about me, but can't talk to me yet because I was just a sophomore. So not specifically a school, but keep my options open.
That's awesome.
And do you want to go and wrestle in college? I know that we have talked a lot to some, and we know that it's a big deal. Continuing to wrestle and doing all that. We know, Isabella, you're crushing it right now, pretty much everywhere you go. So that one I can definitely understand. But some people just don't want to wrestle anymore when they come out of college. And Adalyne, you're definitely going. You're gonna represent us in at some schools this coming up in a couple years here. That's a for sure thing.
Yeah, I for sure want to wrestle. I don't know exactly what I want to do or like major in, but for sure wrestle.
That's actually a good question, Isabella. What do you want to major in?
I was in the same boat. I had no idea, but I knew I wanted to wrestle. So it's changed a lot. At first it was accounting, and now I'm solidifying the decision and doing public service and global affairs.
Yeah, cool. Tony Welch posted a comment here. 5 great coaches there with Aaron and Chad Van Devere. Congratulations. So, yeah, that's really awesome. So, let me get here. Sorry, I lost myself here. Toppenish High School. Yes, Adalyne. Your high school seems to be on the front of everybody's list and top wrestling high school here in Washington State. What's it mean to you to come out of top? And what's the like the ambiance inside those rooms when everybody looks around and knows how good they are? I mean, what's it like coming to that wrestling room every single day?
It's really intense. I kind of like right now I'm switching back with Toppenish and Coach Tony's and over here on the west side. But during high school season, the practices are really intense. You have to go and practice knowing that you're probably going to get beat up every day, but that by the end of practice, you know that you'll feel accomplished because when you're wrestling like out on the mats, it all pays off then. But yeah, just really intense, I would say.
And go ahead, Sam. Yep.
I was just going to say, I mean, we can get into this now. We were talking about this a little bit before the show started. Malia, we will get to you, I promise. But Adalyne, you had the most controversial, most exciting finals match of the entire Mat Classic. Yeah. Like, it's hands down. It's like, I was there watching it. I've watched it back a couple different times. One of your national teammates, Ramona Wrights, you were going up against her and you go into overtime and there was a super controversial call. Do you care if we bring up the video right now and show the viewers what happened, what transpired, and then ask you a couple questions about it? Is that all right?
Yeah, go ahead. Do it.
All right, cool. Well, this is my first time doing this, so let's see if I can pull this off.
Good, because if Adalyne said no, we didn't have I don't know what we'd have done. Let's see if Sam can bring it up here.
All right, I'm pulling it up. I'm pulling it up right now.
And, most people that probably tune into our channel know exactly what this is. But you're in overtime here, 8-8 against Ramona. And maybe we'll just let it play, Sam. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, 8-8 overtime, just a few seconds in. And we'll play the tape, and I might have to jump ahead because there's some coaches trying to argue a call. We'll jump ahead and then get to the end of the match. So here we go. A little lag right here, but so they called that a takedown pretty quick. The ref blew the whistle pretty quick, and Ramona, rightfully so, is celebrating. She thought
Okay,
that
hold
she
on.
won state.
Ramona is officially
Ramona's watching.
watching
Nice. So
they're waving at you, Ramona.
Yeah, we know you guys are teammates. There's no hard feelings or anything. This is just what comes with wrestling matches, right? There's close calls and there's high stakes and all that. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit here to the
Okay,
end.
well, hold on. I want to stop right there. So
Okay.
can we go back to the takedown right there? Or it was waved off, right? But as coaches, Sam and I were talking about this a little bit. Sam, turn it down just a tad there. So right here, our opinion, no takedown. That's our opinion right here. I mean, we have a continuation there. It's really unfortunate that the ref blew the whistle right there. I think that was really the problem that we had right there, is that we had no continuation coming. And we'll let this play as we talk through here. But we have some bubbles here. Now the coaches were apparently getting pretty chippy out here. Is that right? Now, Adalyne, you're staying locked in over here, but what is going through your mind as, your coach is fighting for you, the coaches are kind of arguing against each other back and forth. What's going through your mind here?
In my head, I was like, there's no way I lost. Like, I made it this far and I lost, but I knew that it wasn't two because, like, I felt what I had and I felt like she wasn't on top of me. Like, I just felt that she didn't have any control. So when they called it, I was like, there's no way that was two. And then, like, I remember at some point my dad, like, my other coach went to go sit down and my dad's like, no, like, there's no way he's going to call that two. So then my dad got up and argued and he's like, that wasn't two. And so it was just so much, like, everybody going back and forth. But I feel like in person, like, you can't really see this angle, but, like, in person, you can't see that it wasn't two. But through this angle, you can kind of tell that it wasn't. So I think that's why the ref was kind of, like, confused too.
Yeah, it's a tough play right there. I mean, I think everybody's a little confused, and we see this in sports a lot, and it's kind of something that's actually really tough to really talk about, because if you don't know, in my opinion, we should just let it wrestle a little bit. Then maybe we could speak about it afterwards. But go ahead, Sam. Elaborate on that.
Again, I think they just blew the whistle too quick. Like, once the whistle's blown officially, well, the match technically is over, right? Like, that's, we can talk about it and review it, but to me, you got to let it play out, because it's a scramble position. If you're unsure as a ref, let it play out and let the wrestlers wrestle and let them finish the takedown or let them finish the scramble so that we know for sure if it was or was not. So I think that was it was a mistake on the ref's part there. Now, I will say that they made the right call here to let them wrestle on, and because he blew the whistle too quick, let him finish out the match just fine. So right here we go. Adalyne and Ramona back in there, and right away you were locked in, ready to go. Ref blows the whistle, let it play out. Crazy. Absolutely wild.
Coach is over there getting crazy.
Fired up.
That's awesome. Great. We could stop that right now. So now here's the thing. Let's talk about Ramona in that situation too. That's tough, man. You thought you won it all. It goes to a coach's decision. They pull it back. Talk about an energy dump right there. And actually, you know what? We deserve to have Ramona on here too. Maybe tell her side of it, because that's crazy, right? I mean, if that happens to you and you're the one with the takedown, that's incredible. So, but to come back, get back in there, man. I don't know. That was tough. You look like you were ready to go. You blast doubled it and got the win. And that was 2-time, right? 2-time state champion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so a returning state champ, it would have been nice to get the win, but yeah, you pulled out, you persevered, and that's pretty cool. One of the most exciting finishes. I know we were all there. Now, Ramona, you guys were on the team together, right? I mean, have you guys talked about that or?
Yeah, kinda. Not like talk about it, but like we do talk about like I don't know.
Coaches think you guys have beef.
Yeah, our coaches think we have beef and stuff, but like we're cool with each other, and we always like hang out. Not always hang out, but we'll hang out at like camps and stuff. But
Well, Sam, that's an opportunity. I think we could do this.
Well, you guys were just at Turf Wars together. I was just curious, because, in my day too, I had a lot of, not a match like that. That was crazy, but a lot of times where you're competing with somebody in folk style at state, and you've been competing with them over the years, but then you end up on a dual team together. You're going to nationals together, and so. What are your thoughts on that? What's your perspective on meeting up with teammates? Because you got Malia right next to you. You guys are grinding in the wrestling room. Like, how do you handle relationships in wrestling like that?
It's kind of like we could be friends off the mat, but as soon as it gets down or comes down to like wrestling them, that's where it's kind of like, okay, like we're not friends. We are, but we're also not enemies. We're like opponents. Because, like, throughout the whole season, I feel like I was wrestling, like, all my teammates. I wrestled Ashley. I wrestled JoJo my season. And, I mean, they're my teammates. They're both from Ascend. So I feel like I was dealing with that a lot this season. And then Ramona in the finals, like, it was just so many teammates I had to wrestle. But as much as it, like, does, like, feel like there's, like, oh, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, oh, you guys aren't friends, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we're friends. But once it's on the mat, it's kind of like, okay, like, you have to take it serious. This is, like, a match and not just practice anymore.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And we just had to ask. I mean, that's the thing. We're out here reporting it. That's what we got to do. So, Coach Pete, we ain't trying to stir it up, but we had to ask. You know what I mean? We have to. It's for the people. But yes, both girls are amazing.
Both girls are amazing.
That was quite a finish, and for you guys to still be competing side by side, that's really awesome. So, all right, let's quickly get to Malia. I know you've been waiting. So, hi, Malia. Again, uncle of all time, but you're entering your sophomore year. You wrestle for Ascend on the west side, third at state as a freshman, third at women's nationals 15U. So congratulations on that. That's quite an accomplishment. But I know you wanted to win it all last year, and I know you got a tough match. I believe against a returning state champion, right, Sam? That was your only loss.
Yeah.
3-timer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and again, not to stir up the old past, but I want to just kind of talk about, your thoughts on that loss. I know that, Sam had talked to me that he came up and said, hey, that's probably the last time you're going to lose, and that's
biased, but
yeah, right. But how did you feel? Because I know you wanted to win it all, but it's good to kind of go through this and let us know how you felt.
Yeah, it was a tough match. I had wrestled her in the gut check finals back in it was December. So I kind of known what I was getting into, but she's a really good wrestler. She's really strong and very built. So it was just, I kind of just felt the difference between a freshman and a senior. But there's no excuse for losing. She was better.
Yeah, and maybe that day, and they talk about wrestling, man. It's such a tough sport, right? I mean, we go through a grueling season to get to a one match at the end, and you may be injured, you may be taking something in, you might be sick, and it's like, man, you just don't get another chance at it, right? And it's so tough to kind of crest that mountaintop at the very top because, man, we just don't know. But I know you wanted to win a state title as a freshman. I think we all know that. But do you feel like you did accomplish your goals into your freshman season? And do you feel that it was a successful year for you?
Yeah, I do. My only 2 losses were to Zeta. So I feel like that's a pretty good accomplishment. And after losing in the semifinals at state, it was pretty sad for me. And then coming back and finishing and doing the best I could, taking third, was a big accomplishment.
Now, Sam, I know you got something to say here. I know, you know.
Well, yeah, I'm a family member, watching from the sidelines, and I'm not in Malia's corner, but yeah, you should be proud of that. You should be proud of anybody who comes back and gets third. I think that is tremendous to be able to bounce back, because I did a semi slide. I was in the semis my freshman year, and I lost 3 straight matches and got 6th, and that's tough, man. It's hard to come back from a loss, so you should be proud of that for sure. Now, Malia, you got injured at Turf Wars. I want to ask you about your shoulder and what's going on with that. Talk about your injury and what's the prognosis with that.
Yeah, I was in a shot and I got extended pretty quickly. So I think I just pulled something in my shoulder. But this past week, I've been doing rehab stuff on it with Mia's dad. You guys know Mia. And he's been helping me out a lot. And now just trying to get it completely better before Fargo, doing whatever I can.
So are you practicing right now? I know you were, you got Adalyne with you right now. So you guys were practicing today, or what?
We have practice today, tomorrow, Sunday, lifting Monday, and then we leave for Fargo on Wednesday.
Okay, gotcha.
That's pretty fun. I would assume everybody's really excited to get to Fargo. I mean, we got just a great. We talked about how great our girls are here in Washington State, and you guys are going to go represent us. Coach Pete, we love you too. Thank you very much. But yes, let's get back to Isabella. Isabella, how do you keep yourself grounded? I mean, you're on a tear right now with everything, and I mean, what keeps you going? I know, wrestling's tough, training's tough, but you're at the top right now on pretty much everybody's list. So what keeps you motivated?
There's always things to improve on, and we're finding those little things that I can improve on and keeping at it, staying humble. Fargo's a big goal, so I've been keeping in check. And there's always some self-doubt, so that also helps.
A little bit of self-doubt. I know that's what keeps me grinding for sure. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah. So, what's the are you going 190 for Fargo? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it a weight cut for you? Because I know, like, there's some wrestlers out there that are, cutting weight and all that. Is there anything going on with that you got to stay focused on as well?
I do not have to cut. I thought that this season would be similar to last season, where I would make 180. So I slowly made it down to like under 180, and then I found out before my first competition that it changed. So I was pretty light. I've been pretty light this whole season, so I won't have to worry about cutting for Fargo. No.
Now, I know you've been winning, but do you feel that you're at any disadvantage being light in the class?
I've been trying not to think about it. There was a girl at Pocatello that weighed 205 that wrestles 190. So there's going to be some pretty heavy girls. 30 pounds is a lot to move. In addition to like 30 pound difference is a lot. But we've been training for that. We know I'm light, so it'll be okay.
And how is it? Go ahead, Sam.
I was just going to say, Coach Pete just put in a comment about Coach Bodie. I want to ask about him because he does a lot of good things for you up there. We talked a little bit before we brought you on live about him. Talk about Bodie Orton and what he means to you, because he's very involved with what you're doing and your success. So talk about Coach Bodie for us.
Oh, I love Bodie. He's such a good coach, and I've spent 3 years with him training, and we've become such great friends. But I love his way of coaching. We do the fundamentals. We master the fundamentals, and then we do the fancy stuff later. So that's been a really, it's a strategy that's worked. So I'm really happy with what we've been doing.
Yeah, whatever he's doing is working, clearly. You got to give some props to Coach Bodie, because you're on a tear, like we said. I went on your track wrestling profile when I was doing the show sheet prep, and I had to go back to I don't know if you've lost in a year or maybe a year and a half, something like that. It's just you're on an absolute heater right now. So that's awesome.
If it's all fundamentals, right, or we train the fundamentals and everything, you're basically speaking to the crowd saying that, anyone can do what you're doing right now, ideally, right? Put in the work, learn the fundamentals, get, awesome coaching, good support staff. I mean, is there anything about, do you have a funky move that only you do? It seems like for other girls in the sport that might be, freshmen or on the way up to winning, you had talked about how you didn't win state until your senior year. You're basically preaching to these girls here saying, hey, we're just stick to it. What kind of advice do you have for those girls coming behind you that look up to you?
I would say stick with the fundamentals. It could be boring, it can be boring, but that's, you have to master those to get to do the fancy moves. Because if you don't have head pressure or head position, if you don't have pressure, if you don't have a good stance, then what are you doing?
Right.
Yeah.
Sam needs to learn a little bit about stance.
I'm too old to be in a wrestling stance now. It hurts my back. Let's talk about turf wars a little bit, you guys. Like, you guys you just got off turf wars. Isabella, Malia, you guys are on the blue team. Adalyne, you're on the green team. Everybody showed out. Adalyne, you went 7-1. Malia 4-0. Isabella 8-0. You guys had phenomenal tournaments out there, and the blue team, holy mackerel, you guys need to get to the big stage, the national tournament. We can't be doing this Western State stuff anymore, because you guys tore through everybody. It was insane. And our green team, the same thing. Like, you guys are winning matches left and right. How was turf wars? I'm gonna pass it to Malia and just ask you, what was the experience like for you? And we can just do kind of a round table on this. How was it? What was the experience like? And just talk about that tournament for us a little bit.
Yeah, being on the blue team was great, because we had Coach London as one of our head coaches and Coach Port. But Coach London's like fresh out of college. She really relates to us, and I think she's a really great coach. So I really liked having her coaching us. And then Coach Port's there, and he's just great to have around. So, and our team, we not a lot of us knew each other, but I didn't know some of the girls on the team at all. And really quickly, as we started winning, we all started cheering, and we all got close throughout the tournament. So it was just a good experience.
Coach Pete asked a question here. Do you guys wish that you went to national duels? And I'll let all you guys answer that at once here if you like.
I do. Yeah, I agree. I think we should have went.
So was there a decision that you guys had to make to go to national duels, or what? I don't know how it works, Sam. Can you elaborate on that? Or
I think
there was go ahead.
Go ahead, Isabella. Let's talk it out here.
Go ahead, Isabella.
They sent out a poll, so the girls got to choose and vote if they wanted to do turf wars or the national duels. I'm biased. I couldn't have done national duels because of graduation, so I'm glad that I had an opportunity to do the turf wars. But I understand. I've been to Oklahoma. That's a great tournament. So hopefully next year people will get to experience that.
Yeah, we just talked about that with the boys too, and that was one of their struggles, was getting full rosters out there because of graduation and all these things that are happening when you guys are wrapping up high school and all that. So I totally get it. I'm glad that whoever was in charge is letting the wrestlers vote and making it a democratic decision there. But for me personally, and I know there's a lot of other people too that would echo the sentiment that, look, could be number one in the country, and no disrespect to turf wars or anything like that, but you guys proved at turf wars that you can go with anybody, clearly. So no knock. Great job at turf wars. Let's pass it to Adalyne. How was your experience with turf wars? What did you take away from it?
It was fun. I really did wish I was on the blue team, but I feel like we all kind of got to watch each other in a way. Because I was on the green team, so when I was done wrestling, the blue team was wrestling. So it was always going back and forth to support their matches. But I don't mind the green team because I did have really good teammates, and I did like the coach. I had Coach Des, and she's a great coach. I really like Coach Des. I also really love Coach London though, and I love her in my corners as well. The wrestling in general, I did have pretty tough matches, but I agree we would have better matches at national duels just because we'll be seeing a lot of those girls at Fargo. And overall, I would say the tournament was good. It was really fun, and like we had a lot of team bonding and all that. So I think the trip overall, I would say it was fun. I liked it.
Now, for Malia and Adalyne, are you guys planning on doing duels again next year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, in unison there. That was nice. You guys planning? But next year, I think we're gonna push to get to national duels then, because we went to turf wars this year, right? We get to show out. Now, does that, and all of you guys can almost answer this question, but maybe we'll keep it with Adalyne here. So does being so highly ranked as a team, is that on your guys' mind? Like when you guys are bonding or talking about it, like, are you guys talking about how you're the best basically, and we want to go out there and show that we're the best, or is it really humble and you just want to go out there and win matches? I mean,
I feel like we don't really look at it as like we're the best. I think it's more like let's do our best or let's show them how good we are. I would say we're not really like cocky about it, I guess. I don't know what you say about it.
Yeah, we don't talk about it. We just focus on our match.
Yeah, I agree.
that's nice to hear. That's really nice to hear, because Sam, back in our day, it wasn't like that. When you went up against somebody, they wanted to beat you up and make you know that they were the best, and it's nice to hear that you guys are focusing on yourselves here. And look, Coach Pete, he's Coach Pete. I didn't see you in the comment section last time. Now you're back. I love it. Where was Coach Pete last time? No, but he says the girls are focused on what they can control, and yeah, it's really nice to hear that, because you know what? Sometimes it feels like as coaches we see our kids get lost in the sauce a little bit, and it's good to hear Isabella talking about focusing on the fundamentals, and it's good to hear that Adalyne saying, hey, we're going out there, we're focusing on what we can do. It's like, wow, when you don't let all this outside pressure get into what you got going on, you seem to perform a little bit better, and people get too much on their mind, or, hey, if we lose this now, oh, here's Coach Bodie, nationals and turf wars next year.
Okay.
We created the interest, have the buy-in to send our best next year. He's director also, so that's coming from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
Coach Bodie's actually someone we'd love to have on the podcast as well, Coach. So hopefully that's an extended invite to you for the future. But Isabella, I'm actually going to go back to you. How is it at Outlaw? I mean, I know the club is fairly new, but obviously they have, the coaches are phenomenal, the wrestlers are phenomenal, and you were talking about how it's the Lady Maidens, if I'm correct.
Iron Maidens.
Iron Maidens.
Mhm.
Now, can you describe what your your training process is, or what all that looks like there with you at Outlaw?
We always have a somewhat smaller group, but the group's stacked. Like, it's insane how, like, we had I believe 4 wrestlers from Outlaw on the blue team for the national duels at Western States. So it's just a stacked club, and I don't really remember what we do at practice. I just go there and do it. But I know Bodie has a plan, and I'm buying into the plan. So, and I write it all down, so I remember when I look back. But,
and you were talking to us earlier. You guys, your Whatcom, what was it? Your Whatcom team, you guys practice inside the mall, huh? The old Vision Quest type of practice situation at the what was it, the Bellis Fair, or what mall was it again?
Bellis Fair Mall.
Yeah, and I made a joke about how if you get caught at the Bellis Fair Mall, you might need to protect yourself, but if somebody tries to come up on you, they need some protection, because you might throw them out of there. But looks like you have Annabelle Sudo, Belen Lopez, and Bella, all state champs at the Iron Maidens there. So, and how many days a week do you do that?
We usually do Wednesdays, but as we get closer to Fargo, we've been doing it. We've been adding a day.
And that's actually a question I'd like to ask all three of you. What is your Fargo training regimen like? I mean, like you said, Isabella, you're going a little bit more. I mean, are we ramping up? Are we tapering back down right now? What's it like? Maybe we'll start with Malia.
I don't, just like sticking to the plan, practicing, running. We do lifting too. So I stay on a pretty consistent schedule, and I don't cut too much weight because I think I wrestle best at my walk around weight. So yeah, I'm just sticking to the plan, and our practices are still pretty hard, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna start tapering within like the next few days.
And then Adalyne is at your house right now because she came to train over the weekend. Is that correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's really cool of you guys to do this stuff because, again, you're out here sharpening iron. You're out here going to the and Isabella's coming 45 minutes into the Iron Maidens, and that's a lot of so Adalyne, what's it like on the east side? What's your practices like before coming over here to the west side? And do you like the west side way better than the east side? You tell me.
I kind of switch back and forth. So on the east side, I go to Coach Tony's practices in Yakima. I do those Mondays, Tuesdays, Fridays. No, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. And then Tuesdays, Thursdays, I go to Toppenish practices, and I kind of train over there too. And then on the weekends, if we don't have tournaments or anything, I try to come over here with Coach Derek. So I'm like getting training in as much as I can. And then usually before practice, I'll go on a run, especially getting closer to Fargo. And then with the week before Fargo, I've been cutting a bit. So I've been going on a run, practice, and then sauna after that. Because I'm still like 6 over, and I weigh in next Friday. So, yeah, that's kind of my schedule right now. So after this weekend, then I'm going to focus on cutting, and then we leave Wednesday night for Fargo.
Jesus, she just basically said she practices every day. She said
most days. But I feel like I do kind of have breaks. Fun fact, Malia loves to fold clothes and make money.
Damn, Coach Pete. Fun fact, Malia loves to fold clothes and make money. Yeah.
It's true.
Wow, I hate to fold clothes. So
that's the worst.
Yeah. Isabella, what's your practice stuff like? I know you said you're probably going a little bit more to Iron Maidens, but let's run down your week right now heading into Fargo.
I lift on Mondays, and then on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, if we're not traveling to the faraway camps, I go to the Welcome Wrestling Academy in the mall, and then Wednesdays I go to Bodie's at Outlaw. But today we went to Outlaw Friday, so this week it was Outlaw Wednesday and Friday.
Nice.
And then the weekends we have camps or competition.
Nice. Malia, I'm going to pass it over to you again. So last year you went to Fargo, and there's a story behind this. According to your father, you went there last year, but you didn't compete. So how did that transpire last year? You got to go and experience the tournament, not competing. What was that like for you?
It was a great experience. I rode over with Coach Pete, and that was pretty fun. He's a fast driver. And and then when I got there, I got to hang out with the team, and I was around Coach Tony a lot, and I'm really glad I went last year because I got to see what it's going to be like for this year. So there's going to be like no shockwave. I already know what I'm getting into, and it got me really excited too because it was a really fun tournament to just be there at.
Now, Malia and Adalyne, you guys both have your dads as coaches. So, okay, Coach Pete, slow it down over here, Coach Pete. 100 miles an hour plus, Coach Pete. Geez. So, yeah, you both have your dads as coaches. You like that? You hate it? Is it good sometimes, tough all the time? I mean, go ahead. You guys got the floor here.
Well, my dad's like my head high school coach. So when we have practice like every day during high school season, it can get kind of tough because I'm with him like 24/7. But like club season, like freestyle, I actually really like having my dad as a coach because he has a lot of experience. And sometimes I might not like express that I'm thankful for it, but I really am.
Oh, dude, that got me going a little here, right up on the here side. That's nice. And what about you, Adalyne?
Personally, I love having my dad as a coach. He's always in my corners. I feel like I can rely on him because, like, he's like my individual coach, I guess. So he knows what I need to work on, what I'm good at, what I'm bad at, and like if he knows what position I'm in, he'll know how to coach me better. Or like, let's say he's not the one exactly like saying the moves, he's still on the side like telling the main one coaching me what to say, or like, oh, she needs to do this, or she can't do that. Tell her to do this or whatever. And then he's just, yeah, he's always in my corners. He's always the one to tell me, like, none of these girls are better than you. Like, you're fine. Or, like, if there's a girl I need to watch out for, he'll be like, okay, like, this is what we need to work on. This is what they can't defend. And he's really, like, the best thing. I love having him as my coach.
That's awesome. So let's talk about training partners a little bit, too, because we're getting into the last week, and you guys have done some Fargo training camps. And you know, we've talked about this multiple times on the podcast about how deep the state is with women's wrestling. For you, Bella, I mean, you have, you know, multiple nationally ranked wrestlers, True Willis and Mia Senega, you know, to train with if you get that opportunity. And then for Malia and Adalyne, you got Cameron Mason, who just got, you know, OW at Western States, and you have the Reince twins and Libby Roberts. Talk about the importance of having good training partners and what it means to you guys. Let's start with Bella.
It's been great training this freestyle season because I've started to gain friendships with the girls I usually compete against. The girl that I wrestled in the folk style state, Aaliyah, we've wrestled like 17 times before actually training together. So we actually got to connect and gain friendship, which was way nicer than like seeing her 17 times during the season. So
Yeah.
it's been nice. I mean, the community is awesome. I love making friends. So that's probably been the highlight of practice partners so far.
That's awesome. Malia, you go.
Can you repeat the question?
Are you serious right now? Are you even paying attention?
Okay, Sam, relax. we get your family. Okay.
Oh my
Jeez.
gosh, bro. All right. Talk about your training partners, Malia. You got Cameron Mason, you got the Reince twins, you got Adalyne, you got all of them. Talk about them and what they mean to you.
They mean a lot to me. These girls are like my best friends because we go through like everything together. They've seen me cry. They've seen a lot. Yeah, and we've gone through going through a Coach Derek. I don't know, not a lot of people know what it's like to go through a Coach Derek practice, but if you know, you know. And they've been through it with me. So we're all experiencing the same pain.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like you to out Coach Derek right now. What is a practice with Coach Derek like?
Tell him about today.
What was like today?
A lot of slapping.
Slapping. Okay.
We're just building up our tough tolerance. A lot of stuff that you wouldn't want to do.
Well, let me tell you, we both cried.
A lot.
Wow.
Wow. Coach Derek, we got to get him on here. We got to know about what this tough tolerance thing is. You think he might slap us, you think, a little, Sam? Probably.
Yeah,
I know Derek. He's a nice guy.
He's a great coach.
And Adalyne, you're training partners now.
On the west side, it's Cameron, Malia. We're like a little trio. On the east side, it's mainly Ashley, Gracie, Sam. Me and Ashley always talk about it, like, oh, if you're going to practice today, I'll go to practice. Because for her, it's like a 2-hour drive from Moses Lake. And so, like, if she's like, you're not going to practice, like, who's going to be my partner? So, yeah, they're like my go-tos. Usually, like, at tournaments and stuff, it's Malia and Cameron practice together, warm up together, and then me and Ashley. So it's good because we're all, like, around the same weight. And in general, I think we're all really good practice partners. And like she said, we're all best friends. Like Cameron and Malia are my go-to. They're my besties. And yeah, we've been through it all together.
Coach Pete is outing Derek here now too. He would never be on. He dines and dashes. Jeez. Jeez. Well, now he'll have to come on to defend himself here. I got a question though. Was there ever a time? I know Malia and Adalyne, you guys come from some history with your dads as coaches and stuff. And again, we're gonna kind of not open forum this, but direct it at all three of you. But can you guys describe a time where you pretty much hit a mental wall with the sport of wrestling, and what helped you get through it? And Adalyne, we'll start with you.
The hardest thing that I've ever mentally had to go through was when I broke my arm my freshman year. That freaking sucked. It was the first tournament of the season. I was in the finals against a girl from Granger, and I fell on my arm and I continued to wrestle, but I felt it hurting. And then after that, we found out it was broken. So they basically told me that I was going to be out my entire high school season. And it was my freshman year. So I was broken. I was so hurt. And with an injury like that, with a whole cast on your arm, you really couldn't do much. But after I got my hard cast, I was in the room every single day with my cast. I was practicing with everybody in the top niche room, getting my butt kicked, and still practicing as much as I could. Going to Coach Tony's, and if he wouldn't let me practice sometimes, he would set up leg workouts and stuff. And I was practicing. I was running every day. I was sauning all the time. Even though I didn't have to drop weight, I was so no, my need to wrestle. And then thankfully, a week before, what's first district or districts? The week before districts, I got my cast off. They gave me good news, and they're yeah, you can get your cast off this week. And I was stunned. And so I got my cast off the week before districts and dropped the weight that week. Took first at districts, took first at regionals, and then ended up being a state champ that year.
That's awesome. And we'll throw it to Isabella on the other side first before going to Malia. So talk about how you nursed yourself through, a tough time in the sport. I feel like every good athlete in wrestling has a little bit of a breaking point with the sport at some point, whether it's when you're younger or at, Isabella, talk about yours.
It would have to be my first freestyle season. My first introduction to national tournaments. I was getting my butt whooped, and I was just this is so hard. This is a new style. I'm learning all these new things. So that transition was definitely really hard. And my mom's well, do you want to quit? I'm Mom, don't say that to me. Why would you say that? Why do you put that into the universe? And so I was okay, I need to get my mind right, because there was a little tinge that was well, maybe, but I'm glad that I didn't. And there's so much community with it, so it gets fun when you start getting friends in it. So yeah, go ahead.
What happened mentally though? You say you got your mind right. So what did you do? Did you just take a long, hard look at yourself and decide, hey, I really love this sport, or what happened?
I just didn't want to I guess it's dumb to quit when it gets hard. So I didn't want to do that. I didn't be oh yeah, you got third at state this year, and then you didn't do well at a national tournament, and now you're quitting. That's just silly. So I didn't want to let myself be like that.
Yeah, that's actually a really mature thing. Because a lot of people do. They might just quit. They don't stop to take that second look and say, quitting right now, that is just silly, right? We shouldn't be doing that. And sometimes even just doing that, and that's a talk about all failures in life, Sam. If it's failing because or quitting because you failed, or maybe it's twice you failed. It's man, that's silly. Let's keep pushing through this, because the pain of regret, way worse than that pain of that loss that you took there. And getting through that, those breakthroughs mentally, those are awesome, right, Sam?
Yeah,
you love those.
Yeah, when we've brought it up I don't know, I feel a dozen times now about Coach Brian Owen out there at Inland Northwest, talking about putting your losses at risk and putting yourself out there and not being afraid of challenges, because a lot of times we get into these situations as wrestlers and we're so afraid to lose or so afraid to fail that it just becomes, like a cat chasing its tail, or this thing where we just start to break down mentally. But if you can have that right mindset and you can break through and be able to try and get yourself into the right mindset where you're okay with losing, you're okay with failing. If you're okay with failing, then you're going to be successful in the end later on down the road. Malia, did you ever have something like that where you were, thinking about quitting, or you were thinking about where you had a rock bottom moment? Is there anything like that you can speak on?
Yeah, I think like 3 years ago when Derek first started coming to Ascend, I was like 11, or I was 12, and the practices were brutal, to say the least. Like we'd have practice. It was just supposed to be like a 2-hour practice, and we'd be going like on 3, maybe a little over, on like just like a lot of sprints, and just the practices were super hard. And I was young, so I didn't really understand like why every day we were going this hard, and it was really difficult for me because when you're crying every day, it's really hard to like want to go back. And like when you're just getting mentally and physically challenged so often, it's hard to like, for like a 12-year-old to like love that, I guess.
Sure.
And so I took like a month off, and I really didn't want to go back, but my parents
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think have a choice.
yeah, my parents went back in there. They were like, I'm tired of this, you're going back. So I went back out and haven't stopped.
But you gotta be happy with yourself by persevering, though, right? Yeah. It's not just because, Malia, I went through it too, right? You know that, your dad was older than me, and I had that bar already set. But yeah, you hit those moments where it's really hard, but you're always thankful in the end that you persevered and you keep going. I want to transition into your guys' goals for Fargo as we're getting closer to the end of this podcast here. Let's start with you, Bella. What's your goal for Fargo? I think we already know what it is, but let's just let the viewers know what your goal is, and how do you want things to play out for yourself?
So real quick, Bella, before you do that, we're at the time where I got to cut the Instagram feed. We're about at an hour. So if you guys want to continue to tune in, please follow on our Facebook or our YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and end us now, but we appreciate you joining us. So, and follow us over to YouTube. So we really thank you for tuning in, but go ahead, Isabella.
I want to win Fargo this year. That's the goal.
Simple as that. Malia, go ahead.
That's what I thought she was going to say, Sam. Now, Isabella, you've got to be one of the favorites, right? I mean, coming off a U.S. Open win, ranked top 5. Does that get in your head at all?
Absolutely, of course.
Okay, so how are we getting through that?
I'm trying to take the pressure off. I got really wound up this past Wednesday, and I did cry at practice. Just because it's such a big goal, and immediately when you didn't meet the goal, one loss and you're done. You didn't make it. So I'm allowing myself to just have fun at Fargo, and I don't want to stress about it because I can't control first place.
Right.
Well, if you go in there and wrestle how you wrestle, I mean, win or loss, you're going to be competitive in every single match that you enter into. And that's got to be a really relieving feeling because, that pressure, I would say, hey, try to just let that go because you're already great. You're already great. So if you go into Fargo and win Fargo, or if you take second, I mean, you're dominant wrestler and your stuff is good. Your stuff is really good. So you go in there and just no pressure. You're having fun. It should come to you because that's 100%. Now, I think I heard Malia mouth that she cries all the time. Is that what I read your lips over there? I'm a lip reader extraordinaire.
Yeah, like every day.
Yeah. So that's cool.
That
that's
makes
your
me
thing.
feel better.
It's nice. You guys are like bringing community amongst each other. It's like Isabella's like, okay, I cried, and Malia's like, hey, we do this all the time. We're over it. We're okay here. But Malia, let's talk about your goals here to Fargo. I mean, hey, listen, guys, we all know you all want to win Fargo. That's already an answer we know you have on your mind. But how are we going to get there?
this is kind of how I am with every tournament. Just take it match by match and point by point. Like, don't look ahead in the brackets. Don't be like, if I win this, then I might have to wrestle her. But if I lose, then I'm going to have to wrestle her. None of that. Just focusing on the next match and not looking too far ahead and getting ahead of myself.
And Adalyne, let's hear what your goals are.
Kind of what Malia said. We talk about it all the time. We're gonna be Fargo champs one day, so we like to aim high. We talk about it. Obviously, if we don't meet that goal, of course, all American would be the next goal, because that's still really big to AA at like a big tournament like that. But yeah, we like to aim big.
And do you guys? Do you guys look up like who these people are? or you've wrestled them already nationally? Do you guys sit around like we used to back in the day, Sam, and be like, oh, this guy, I'm gonna go wrestle this guy, this girl, this girl? Do you guys do that or what? Isabella, you're shaking your head.
Absolutely
You don't
not.
care?
No. It's not that I don't care. I just want to freak out.
That's fair. Yeah. One match at a time. That's all you really can do. Malia, Adalyne?
What about you guys?
Yeah, I try not to, but it's kind of hard, like, not to look at the brackets. Or like, I think of like something I do a lot is like, I'll look at the bracket and I'll look at the Instagram, and if I see something on there, I'm like, oh shoot. But what I do like to do a lot though is like also look them up on Flow and see like what they like, what I can do on them in a way. Like if I see this girl is bad at like defending outside single, I'm gonna go for that. Like,
yeah,
so
that's really cool. That Matt and I didn't have that back in the day, and a lot of high level athletes watch film, right? And if you guys have that access and you're able to do it, if it works for you, it works for you. If you don't want to do it, I totally don't. We're okay with that. If you just want to go in there and just wrestle your match. But for you, Adalyne, you tend to, or sometimes you like to go on Flow and just do a little scouting there every now and then.
Yeah, I do. I feel like I do it a lot, and sometimes it makes me really nervous. So sometimes it's not good, but it's always like a must that I do. Like if the brackets come out the night before, then that night I'm like going through all the girls, and I'm like, okay, this is who I'm gonna see first. If I win that one, then I'll see this one, and then I'll go on from there. But I try not to like put it in my nerves too much. But for sure, I do look above.
Yeah, Malia, do you do that too? Do you look up people at all?
Don't lie.
Watch some film.
I do,
Yeah.
but if I don't, then I already know my dad knows everything about this girl, and he's gonna say something to me. So
yeah, leave it up to the coaches sometimes.
Yeah.
We got to put the onus on the coaches a little bit too to do the heavy lifting for you there. You don't want to psych yourself out, but that's our job as well. We're looking stuff up and giving you some pointers beforehand, but also not trying to overwhelm you. Because wrestling is wrestling. You don't want to just overanalyze things to your own fault there. But that's awesome. That's crazy. That's good stuff. Should we do some rapid fire, Matt? Do you want to get into some like fun questions? You're muted, brother. Okay, we're gonna do some rapid fire. Matt's muted, but we're gonna do some rapid fire here. You guys ready for some fun questions? We're gonna go around little round table here. What wrestler do you guys look up to or try to emulate your style around? Isabella, we'll go with you first. Do you have anybody that you look up to and that you're like, yeah, I like the way that they wrestle, or I like to, try to style my game around a little bit?
I would say I watched mostly Amit. She's pretty awesome. She's a little goofball. So I follow her on Instagram. I just love seeing different parts of her life. And on the mat, she's insane. So
who is it?
Amit Allure.
Okay, nice. That's awesome. Malia, what about you?
I'm trying to think. I would say someone I definitely look up to and like try to emulate my style is one of our coaches, Coach London. We're both long and tall. So her style is very aggressive, and I like that style. She was trying to show like our blue team something we need to work on, and she had me. She was using me as a demonstrating partner, and she just did one collar tie, and I was like, whoa. So she's definitely one person.
Coach Pete says Malia saved my dad.
He always says that.
Adalyne, what about you? Is there anybody out there in the college ranks or USA Wrestling or anything that you look up to that you like to style your game around, or somebody that you look up to?
I really like watching Audrey Jimenez. Have you heard of her?
I haven't, no, but we'll look her up.
She took world team. No, she went to Olympic trials this year as a senior. She's really good wrestler. She's ranked.
Boys State.
She won She won Boys State in Arizona, and like just her wrestling in general, she's really fast. She like has this really nice motion that I like love, and I've been like working on the way that she's been moving. I don't know, just something about her and like her courage to keep going. Like she's crazy good, and I love watching her wrestle. She's probably like my number one.
Coach Pete says Audrey is from Sunnyside in Arizona. Okay, we're gonna have to do some research on Audrey, because that sounds awesome. She's beating up the boys. That's fantastic. We lost Matt, but I think Matt's back now.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're putting me to the fire here, buddy.
I
don't know about driving a show, but you know,
I did this on purpose.
Thank God you're back.
What was your last question, though?
We just went through some style emulations, wrestlers that they like. We got a little Audrey Jimenez. We got some others, London Houston, and we're just rolling down the list here. We're getting to the fun stuff as we wrap it up.
Yeah. So did you guys watch our podcast with London?
Yeah.
She's really nice, isn't she? And you said that you had just gotten coached by her at was it Turf Wars, you said, Malia? Can you speak about her a little bit more, just a tiny bit more? Because she seemed really, really, really awesome when we had mentioned her. And, obviously she's, she competed at such a high level. And do you love being around her? I mean, what's she like as a coach?
Yeah, she's a great coach. She's a great person. She can be very serious when we're wrestling, which is great because we all need to be serious. And then off the mat, she's funny. She jokes around like all of us. But yeah, she's a great coach.
Does she cry? Like, or a big cry?
Yeah, everybody cries. Everybody cries. It's a normal thing.
Now, what about this is a question for all of you. We'll roll down here, but what's your favorite? I just weighed in. I've been cutting. What's your snack? Or maybe let's go post-match snack. You already know you won. What's the first thing that you guys are heading out and grabbing in your snack bag here?
Go. Bella, you go first.
What did she say? What did you say, Bella?
Honey stick.
Honey stick, like the things you get at the that you cut the tops off and they're just big old honey in there. Oh, really? Wow, my daughter loves those too. What do you like, Malia?
I go vitamin water, Cliff Bar, and an orange.
What about on the junk food side? Okay,
After
just give me like
so
what's
basic.
that one you're? Yeah, I mean, what's that one you're?
I do what my dad says.
Oh, geez, yeah, you're dang right you do. Okay, like a tournament. Let's say you're heading, like you already put the work in. We ate the good stuff before. Now, I can't wait to get to a honey stick. What's your thing?
At Turf Wars, I got a steak.
What kind of steak? What are we talking about here, Malia?
A sirloin. Is that what it's called?
Okay, yeah, there you go. You like it medium rare? What are we talking? Okay, there you go. That's it. That's
Kamayakan Girls Wrestling. Hello, all. Hello, Kamayakan Girls Wrestling. That's
go.
super awesome. Greek food from Coach Bodie Orton. Adalyne, what do you got?
After I'm done wrestling, I love baby
burgers. Here we go, Malia. This from Coach Pete. Wendy's. That's your thing?
Wendy's is a good one too. He knows me better than I know myself, I guess.
100 miles an hour driving down the interstate.
Right to Wendy's.
Slow down to go to Wendy's.
Yeah. Gotta get
Adalyne, hit us with it.
After I'm done wrestling and everything, I love a big bacon cheeseburger. I love that. Some fries. At a tournament, usually like a sandwich. But yeah, after I'm wrestling, I like to go big. And some ice cream.
That was London Houston's answer too. You guys
I know,
are like... Yeah, she likes the bacon cheeseburgers too. That's awesome.
Yes, I love them.
I'm a big fan of the hot Cheeto. You know what I mean? The hot Cheeto and the sour gummy worm. That is It's more the answer I was looking for, Malia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Matt was missing weight quite a few times just because of that right there.
It was after. It was after. Sam, what is? I mean, I'm gonna ask you, Sam. What is your?
Oh wow, you're asking me a question right now?
Yeah.
Shoot. I don't know. I gotta go with the cheeseburger too. Like you need some like grease. You need like give me something heavy, something that I couldn't have while I was cutting weight. But yeah, a good solid burger.
Hey, the
It
boys
will
dual
work.
team. The boys dual team went to chicken wings twice.
Yeah, they're the wing guys.
The
Yeah,
wing team. Wing
Yeah.
team. Did we get to the favorite takedown question while I was gone?
No, we didn't. Let's
Nice.
do a round table on that.
Isabella. Oh, Kamaic and girls wrestling Talkies.
Talkies.
On the list. Talkies on the board. Go ahead, Isabella.
I would say it would be a high C, either to a lift or I forget, but either to a lift or to a dump, I think would be the right
Yeah.
name. Yeah. And I got confused in the previous question. I would go, Buddy was right. I would do Greek food after a match or after a day of wrestling.
Nice
Gotcha.
Greek food. So like any Greek food, because I'm not a big fan of the Greek food. Like, are you talking about like a waffle?
We went to a good Greek place in Florida, so I think specifically that place.
Okay, just anything coming out of there.
Yeah.
All right, Malia, what's your favorite takedown?
Outside single, but I normally wait. Like I like to do moves off their shot.
Counter
Reattacks.
Yeah, counter offense reattacks.
Yeah.
But outside single, I'd say.
Adalyne?
I'm like the opposite of Malia. I feel like, I'm trying to get out of that, but I feel like I'm very like, I need to shoot first, or if not, like I'm not going to get the takedown. So I've been trying to work on like letting them do what they're going to do, and then I defend. But I would say probably an outside single as well, or like a snap down, go behind.
A lot of the flow stuff that I was watching with you is a double leg.
Oh yeah,
You're hitting a lot of blast doubles, like the
forgot about
Jordan
that one,
Burroughs
yeah.
style. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, okay. Well, you got a whole arsenal then. That's great. Nice. What about music, you guys? Like, let's talk about that real quick. Do you guys like to have the headphones on when you're on deck or in the hole? What are you listening to, if so, Bella?
That's the one thing I'm superstitious about. I listen to music before two matches, and I lost those 2 matches. So I haven't listened to music since, and it's been like 4 years of no music. And it works.
That's funny. So London, Houston, the same thing on the podcast. She said the same thing, and I was really surprised. She was just like, "Yeah, I don't listen to music before matches." So you're not alone on that. That's awesome. What about you, Malia?
I'm kind of similar. I did music at high school state, and I lost. So never. That was like me trying it, because everybody's like, "Why don't you listen to music?" And I'm like, I feel like I focus better, not like listening to something. I like lock in better. So
Okay.
no music for me.
Adalyne, you're listening to music, aren't you? You got something planned.
Yeah. Not right
What
now,
is it?
but I usually music.
Yeah, but before a match, are you listening to something? And if so, what is it?
Yeah, for sure. My top artist, I love J. Cole. I love Drake. I love R&B in general. So they're like my go-tos.
Nice.
Hey, Adalyne, are you Team Drake or Team Kendrick?
I love Drake, but honestly, right now I'm Team Kendrick just because I think he definitely won this.
How dare you? How dare you?
I'm sorry, I love Drake, but Kendrick did win
did
that.
win this.
Yeah.
Now, I know that wrestling shoes were a big deal, back in our day, Sam. And no offense to the wrestling shoes of today, but I don't think that they hold a candle to the stuff that we had back in our day. But Isabella, do you have like a certain shoe you love, your favorite shoe, or maybe a shoe that is out there you'd like to own? I just bought the Wolverine shoes by Rudis. I saw those. I'm a big Wolverine guy, so I got me some of those. The second I saw them, I'm like, yep, that screams me. Banana yellow? Are you kidding me? Where do you find those? Go ahead, Isabella.
I don't have a favorite shoe. Preferably one that lasts longer than a season. But I don't have a favorite shoe. No.
See, that's the problem. Do you hear this, wrestling shoemakers? We need to get some better shoes out here.
Something durable.
Okay, One season back in our day, you used to wrestle years in these things. They were hand-me-downs, multiple years. You can't even do that today. That is crazy. Malia.
I got 2 pairs that I wear. I wear Nike Inflix for practice shoes, and then tournament shoes. I got a pair of Viexios at the beginning of freestyle season, and those are just great shoes. They're super light. Those are my favorite shoe, but I don't want to get them super messed up, so I just wear them for tournaments.
Fair. Adalyne?
I just have Inflix. I'm not like big on the shoes, but I really like my Inflix, so my Inflix is a great shoe.
And the pink headgear too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Are you gonna be rocking that again this year? You've been rocking the pink headgear for a while, and I feel like it's a thing now.
I know I'm trying to, but my headgear that I've been using it's like ripping. It's already like teared apart. So I think I'm gonna get the new Rudis, the all pink new Rudis one. So I'm trying to still have the pink headgear going.
Maybe we need to get the makers of this gear on here, because what is going on here, dude?
Everybody's just like, we just want something that lasts.
Do they know that people wrestle in this stuff? I mean, this is unreal here. Well, ladies, it's been really fun to have you guys on the podcast. And you know I speak for a lot of us out there that we are 100% rooting you guys on at Fargo. And we're really excited to see you guys come in there and succeed. And Isabella, we hope to maybe have you on during your season a little bit. Oh, actually, I remembered a question. In my mind. I desperately wanted to ask you guys. Freestyle at the college level, folk style here in state. Do you like that? Would you rather just be wrestling folk style or freestyle? And do you think that they should be adopting freestyle at the high school state? If that's what you're going to go and wrestle in college, then it makes no sense for you to wrestle that, a different style in high school. So Isabella, since you're heading off to college, do you have any take on this?
I do have a preference towards freestyle, but I do know a lot of girls try wrestling new in high school, and I don't think 5-point throwing new girls is a good idea.
That's actually, you know what, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Hey, I'm here to try out, and then Isabella tosses you on your head like, oh geez, you guys got okay. That is, you know what, that is probably the best somebody's ever put it to me.
Yeah,
because that right there makes sense. That right there makes sense. But you have a preference to freestyle. So Malia, Adalyne, you can go ahead and answer those questions individually as well.
Personally, I don't like folk style because like the rest of the world's practicing freestyle all the time and we're practicing something different. And I guess it could give us advantages because we're learning something like different in wrestling that they're not learning, but I don't like folk style at all. So I'd rather have freestyle.
What don't you like about folk style? I think I know the answer to this already, but what don't you like about it?
I don't like getting off bottom. So and
yeah, neither did I, but
it's just like it's just boring to me.
Yeah,
like practice is more boring. It's slower pace. It's not like a lot. I mean, you can transition wrestle and folk style, but it's not like freestyle.
Well, you ladies are lucky, man. I'll tell you what, because I liked freestyle better too, and we didn't. You guys get to move on to college and wrestle that like that. That's super cool. We weren't able to do that. We still aren't. The boys still got to go and try to get out from bottom, and you got riding time and all that stuff. So
yeah, I think it's better. I'm going to put it there. Folk style's better.
I do too. Adalyne?
I feel like it's the toughest competition because you have all the extra stuff you got to focus on. But Adalyne, bring it in. Tell us all that you love folk style. Come on. We need a little bit of love here.
I kind of like the balance. I like wrestling freestyle, but then I also love doing like folk style. I like in folk style that you get a scramble and you don't have to give up any back points, or if you like flash whatever, it's not two. And I like scrambling. I like at practice just being able to flow and not worry about like, oh, my back's flashing, whatever.
True.
But I mean, I would say I definitely like freestyle more. I would just say I like the balance of having both freestyle and folk style.
Yeah.
Jordan.
Well, not Greco though. I like Greco, not Greco.
Yeah, I just, it's crazy because, let's say you're in a takedown, you're sprawling out and you trip and fall. 4 points. It's like, what the really all already, so it's like it's it's anyway, but it's another debate for another time. But ladies, we really like it's okay, now we're gonna end it. Okay. I had that just pop into my mind. I wanted to ask, actually no, I have another one that popped in my mind. It's another tough one. Do you guys still wrestle and train with the boys? I mean, how often are you still wrestling with the boys? And do you like that? Because they separated at the high school level if you have so many girls. But I kind of think, I like the idea of the girls wrestling the guys a little bit more, but I know some don't, some do. Isabella, how often are you wrestling with the boys? And do you like it? Do you think it helps?
I wrestled with the boys during the folk style season, and now I don't really because, I do, but not as often. And I did enjoy wrestling with the boys. You just have to find the right boys that don't get hurt egos or are willing to actually train with you and don't have to like show off that they can do a single leg really well.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
And girls over there, I see you're having a great old time together over there. They're not talking; they're talking to themselves, not to us. They're hiding secrets. But Malia, Adalyne, same question to you.
I think practicing with the boys, yeah, I practice with boys pretty often if they're in there. Sometimes we don't have as many like guys in my like weight range. Like our main guys at a center like Trey, Dayton, and Gil, and they're pretty big for me. But sometimes we have Creed, he's one of our wrestlers, and then Max, I practice with him too. But like practicing with boys fine, but competition level like at this age, I wouldn't like strive for that.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Adalyne, you got anything more to elaborate on there?
I was mainly practicing with like guys kind of during my folk style season. Like now at the top niche practices a little bit, but besides that, mainly girls during freestyle.
Yeah.
Coach Pete says Max who? Malia. The reason why I asked that question is, I don't know how successful wrestling the boys are for you guys, because like I said, you're going out there competing against other girls, and the real idea is that we'd love to expand our girls teams from 9, 10, and Adalyne's probably got a big team, but not everybody's got a big team, and so obviously you got to get them, get your teams from 9, 10 to 20, 30. That'd be the goal for every team, right? But now that we have such light numbers, I just feel like it's beneficial to get in there with the boys, especially if they are around your weight. But you're right. If we can kind of curb some of this, like, don't get your feelings hurt because Isabella's better than you, right? Because she's a U.S. Open champion. You are JV. You know what I mean? That's what I would say to my guys. But also it's like, there's a kind of a point where you might get beat up on a little bit, or a boy that is like, Gil's coming in and Malia's, not as big. And, there's a point where it has to be the right boy too, cause we gotta help everybody get better. And cross training, I think, is a big, issue and big topic right now because the teams are so small. We hope to continue to grow that, but I know as a coach, we've had a lot of conversations about it. I'm very for the girls wrestling the boys, especially if they're at weight. If they're not, it becomes a different story. But we got some great girls on our team. Like I said, Mia's great, and there's just not a lot of practice partners for her. So she ends up practicing with coach or me, and it's just tough. I'd like to see more girls come out, right? And we're championing that, just like all Americaning, right? We're trying our best to champion the furthering of the sport, and having you guys on here today really helps with that. So like I said, we all wish you guys good luck at Fargo coming up, and we hope that you guys get all of your everything you want and more. But we'll go down the line. Where can everybody find you, follow you if you want them to, and maybe your Instagram handles or whatnot? Isabella, go ahead.
My Instagram is Bella Blue Eyes. That's pretty much it.
Okay, good. Yep. Follow Isabella if you guys want to. She's on a very successful run, and it's really incredible to see and continually. Malia, Adalyne.
My Instagram is Malia_Ottow.
And then for me, just my Instagram, ada.a.montiel.
Nice. Well, good luck, you guys, and we really appreciate you. And we'll let you run off to continue to run and go practice or hit the sauna. So good luck, you guys, and I'll take you out of here. So you could go ahead and take off. So goodbye. Thank you. That was really cool, Sam. You know, these girls are continuing to be dominant for us and shining for us there out in the national level, and that's really cool. Any final thoughts from you?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it plenty of times about how dominant these girls are in the state, and you know, we've had a lot of the boys on. We really wanted to have some more you know, female wrestlers on, and I'm just so glad that we did that and got to shed some light on their success and you know, the outlook and the future of what is to come with them. The future is so bright, and yeah, it was super fun, man, just to be able to talk to literally some of the best wrestlers in this country, you know, and talk to them about their story and what's to come for them. So yeah, best of luck to them, and we'll be following along and posting as much as we can to try and keep you guys plugged in with what's going on next week at Fargo. We're already here.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun thing to watch. I mean, we have so many great wrestlers out there at the tournament. I think it's really cool to see, you know, also because of what we're doing and trying to promote and prop that up. It's really nice to be able to kind of laser in. I know a lot of people are also lasering in, so it's really cool that we're able to kind of help provide updates. And thank you everybody for tuning in. And I think our next podcast, do we let it out of the bag or do we wait until you post it?
I let it out of the bag because I think it's going to happen. It's about 2 weeks from now. We're going to have Coach Chris Feist on from Tahoma, and we're going to ask him a bunch of stuff about the Tahoma way, is what he calls it. And honestly, one of the most successful high school programs in the state all time, and then, you know, in recent history for sure. And just an amazing human being, an amazing coach. He was around when you and I were wrestling, Matt, and is still contributing to the sport. So we're really excited to have him on. We haven't nailed down the date for sure, but it's looking like July 19th is when we're going to have him on.
Yeah, and we are getting a lot of comments that we want to get, you know, some of these other coaches on. And I was at Edmund Stools over the weekend and tried to secure a couple more. We're out here hustling, you know, but we really appreciate everybody for tuning in, and thank you for being a part of our community here. And we're really appreciative of it. Hey, we like the banter. I told everybody this last time. Hey, if you want to disagree with us and our rankings, that's fine. You know, we love that, and that's what we're here for. You know, let's have a debate peacefully, you know, and we're out here trying to further the sport in Washington. It's really cool, and I'm just so excited for what we're doing. But for Sam, Ottow, I am Matt. We are the Washington Wrestling Rankings Podcast, and we will see you guys next time.